Hi, I'm Andrea from the Lawver Mortgage Team, and I'd like to welcome you to the Dayton Schrader event, More Referrals Than You Can Handle.
Hi, this is Dayton Schrader. I'm one of the coaches with the Corps, and today I'm in Campbell, California at the Campbell Community Center. I'm here to help Dave Lawver and his team work with a bunch of realtors here that support him and his operations here in Campbell. I'm going to spend the evening talking to them about building teams, about referrals, and building a bulletproof business.
So he's come out here all the way from Texas, and so we hope you enjoy it, and it should be a real special hour that you get with Dayton, so make sure you ask him as many questions as you can. So thank you guys very much for showing, and without further ado, Dayton.
Thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate you taking time. You could be on a listing appointment, or you could be with a buyer, or you could be home with your families, or you could be having a really great happy hour. So here's these guys from nowhere. It's a perfectly good happy hour. So please feel free. I took a look and assessed the size of the crowd and the amount of food. So you need to go back at least 3 times during this presentation to get a little bit more to eat and have a beverage or two. And I think my presentation will get a little bit of the more wine you consume. So a little bit of background on how we got here. I got my real estate license in 1982, not January. First house I sold was Super Bowl Sunday, 1982. Nobody wanted to work that day. And for those of you who remember, that was the year that the San Francisco 49ers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. And I was low man on the totem pole. Nobody wanted to work, so I got a call, was sitting in an open house, and somebody came in, wanted to buy the house, had a house to sell, and I was off to the races. That was 31 years ago. I earned my license later on that spring, and just about the time I was able to get my license from the Real Estate Commission, the ink was drying, put it on the wall, that company closed down. They shut down their operations in San Antonio. And I kind of looked at everybody, and I was still learning everybody's name at that time, and said, where's everybody going? Some people went to work for a builder, some people went to do property management, and a few people were going to RE/MAX. And I said, really, what's that? They said, oh, it's this really new franchise concept. I thought, well, that's great. So I went over there, private office, huge desk. Thought, man, I'm an executive now. I'm a 21-year-old executive with my own private office. Thought I was going to starve at that time. I was living on 3-for-1 happy hours and heavy hors d'oeuvres and really struggling. So this is brutal. It's 82, 83, 84. All my friends are still in college or living with their parents or both. Then came the Tax Reform Act of 1986, the valuation of the peso and the oil crisis, and I just thought it was bad. Interest rates were 16.5%. For those of you that remember, they went up from there. Average price in San Antonio back then was about $50,000. I mean, it was not a pleasant sight, but I didn't have anywhere to go. It was home, and so I just kind of had to hunker down and figure it out. So I got a little bit better, got a little bit smarter. I was kind of a seminar junkie. I always wanted to learn. So I went to Zig Ziglar seminars. I listened to Tommy Hopkins. They were probably 8-track tapes back then, or reel-to-reel. I don't remember anymore. But I listened to tapes. I read the books. I worked on my practice. When I first got into the business, I'd gone to my grandfather's house and pulled a sport coat out of the closet and figured out how to tie a tie. Because I thought if I was going to sell real estate, I'd at least look like a professional. So I climbed the ranks with RE/MAX, climbed the ranks within San Antonio, and I was at that $10, $12 million, $15 million range. It's not bad for San Antonio. Then I started getting out of San Antonio, started going to conventions, got involved in some other coaching, and I saw what real numbers were like. 20, 30, 40, $50 million people. Holy smokes, that's where I want to be. That's very competitive. So through the course of my time with Buyer Referral Only, one of the guys that was on one of the tapes was a man named Rick Ruby, and he was a coach for Joe Stump. Okay, so we'll go down. I don't know is one answer, and then my response to that is that's the job I want to have. I want to be that person on your Rolodex. I want to be your go-to guy. So what does that look like? So we had the conversation about what that looks like. What would you expect from me to be a good subcontractor for you? And we'll talk about what your options are there in a minute. So what's another possible answer? Anybody?
Sell it myself.
Yeah, well, no, you're an attorney. Now stay in character. You're an attorney, so stay in character.
Oh, okay.
So no, you wouldn't soil your hands. If you're a $400 or $500 an hour attorney, you'd not soil your hands. But with residential real estate, probably. Okay, well, it would be, you answered it earlier. I've got Berta. And I said, that's wonderful. And he'd say, and she's the best. She's phenomenal. Really, and so instead of saying, really, Berta? Are you kidding me? I've known her probation officer for years. I'm going to stay on the high road, and I'm going to say, well, tell me more about what she does. And she follows up, she was there for the closing, she got her kids enrolled in school, she met the mover, she stays with us all the time, she has a great Christmas party, whatever. And you're going to laugh, so that's fine, I'm not going to argue with you about any of that, but I'm going to say, tell me more about what she does. I want to learn. If she's really that good, I want to know what she does, because I'm going to turn around and go to Mike and say, give me some things that I do, because I understand that resonated with you. So that's a possible answer. Now you might say, well, Berta, but I haven't seen her since the closing. She stuffed a $15,000 check in her pocket and said, call me, and walked out the door, and I never saw her again. And then I get to say, wow, isn't that amazing? Here's what we do with our clients. Here's how I follow up with my clients. This is what I do for them, that sort of thing. So again, I want to stay on the high road. I'm not going to trash you if I can help it. So there's 4 months. One is I don't have anybody, and then obviously that's the role I want to have. 2 is Berta, she's the best, and so I want to know why. And I want to ask you, does she match up with everybody? Is she bilingual? Because you may have some clients, if you're in San Antonio, you may have some Mexican national clients. And I'll say, well, as a matter of fact, she's not. Well, super. I got 3 people on my staff that read, write, and speak Spanish. Or there may be another demographic that I can appeal to you on where she's not a good match. So I'm going to plant that seed if I can. All right, or you're going to say she's not that good, or I don't remember, or whatever. And then your 4th answer is, well, Dayton, you are. You're my guy. Instead of me saying, aw shucks, or gee whiz, that's great, I'm going to say, I really appreciate that. I want to make sure that I don't take you for granted. You've been a great referral partner for me. So tell me what I'm doing right so I don't ever get lazy or sloppy and take you for granted. So we're going to have a conversation about, I've earned your business, that's great, I want to keep your business, I don't want to take it for granted. So if you ask that question often, you're going to get those 4 answers. And if you get that click word response to those 4 answers, you're going to have a great way to identify those people as potential referral partners. What I'm hoping for you all, and I don't know what your numbers are, I mean, good agents and good producers, but what part of what we coach on and what we're hoping for our clients is, and do a quick math, if you've got 10 people in your stable when you wake up in January 1st, you've got 10 people in your stable, you know they're going to send you 2 deals a year. What would 20 deals do to your bottom line? That would be pretty impactful for most people. Since the average agent only sells about 4 or 5 houses a year, if you make more than $75,000 a year in this industry, you're in the 97th percentile of our industry. And I check that, I do some expert testimony, and that's a fact. I look at that for Texas Association of Realtors. And my cousin Bob, who's been in business for 30 years, the guy's an idiot, but my wife, what am I going to do? I can't help it. Okay? And he said, you know what? You get Bob probably doesn't match up with everybody, and ultimately that reflects on you, so is that really who you want to align with?
You also can't fire your brother-in-law.
Yeah, exactly. And so on and so on. Yep. So if you have that conversation over and over and over again, you're going to get real good at that, real fast. So now, let's just say we are a match. We met, you've got some good clients, I offer tremendous service, I've got excellent credentials and all that sort of thing. What is the number one, there's 5 reasons why. Why would we align with one another? Let's say I'm a realtor, and again, you're Frank, you're a certified financial planner. And we agree, we like each other. I'm a little bit older than you are, but that's okay. But we share the values, we've got some things in common. You got a nice office, I got a nice office. I'm not an idiot, you're not an idiot. Okay, we get along all right. Maybe we're ring bangers from the same university, maybe we go to the same church. We got something that we were Rotarians, whatever, some alumni. We've got some affinity for one another, and you got a good book of business, and I'm good at what I do. So now, I would like to get business from you. There's 5 reasons why you might align with me. Anybody?
one is he's going to make you look really good.
Very good. Yes, I am. That's what we call a loyalty uplift. And in that instance, typically, I might be even a little bit bigger than he is. If you, not physically bigger, but just bigger in stature. So that's why you join a country club. That's why you drive a Lexus. That's a loyalty uplift. Makes you look like a big shot. So by aligning with me, if he were a small builder just getting started, you might seek me out because I've got credibility. So if my sign's in the yard, I've got my arm around him, I might make him look a little bigger if he's a nobody builder. All right. So that's a loyalty uplift. That's one very good reason. That's one most people don't get. What's another reason why we might do business together?
Trust.
No. That's well, I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but no, that's not what I'm looking for. Why?
Consistency?
Is that a part of reciprocity?
Well, reciprocity is one. Very good. So you want something back from me. I give you a referral, you give me a referral. Well, you can make that bargain sometimes with some people, but you can't make that bargain all the time because there's no way you're going to keep it up. Property and casualty agents are notorious for that. Oh yeah, I'll give you a deal, but you've got to give me a deal back. Well, they got 30 agents, 30 realtors that they're trying to solicit and do business with. And so I've not had a lot of success aligning with a property and casualty agent for that kind of relationship. But reciprocity might be one. It might be a condition of doing business. And then I got to say, yeah, I can. 1 for 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 2. What's our, what is the bargain? And can I live with that? And honestly, can you live with that? And that may be our point of disagreement. We say, you know what? I can't do it. That's not the role I want to play. I certainly respect you if that's what you want, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to give you a deal for a deal you give me. So have a lovely day. Ooh. Not, yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's try. We'll try. And 6 months later, I run into you, and we've never seen each other a deal. But all this time, I've been writing him down as a great referral partner because I know Dave's going to send me business because we said we'd try. So reciprocity is 2. What's another one?
Well, you're helping their client.
Okay, well that's part of the loyalty uplift, but it's okay. I tell you what, we'll call that prevent client loss. I'm providing a service. That's why builders have their own in-house mortgage company or have a title company, or that's why they have a capture rate there, and that's because they want to prevent client loss. They want that, and that's the role I like to play, is that subcontractor role. They don't want referrals back from me. They want me to take really good care of their client so their client doesn't meet somebody else who introduces them to another financial planner. And when they're saying, I don't know why would I do that? I don't understand why they would do that. They say, well, I'll tell you what, when your client calls you up and says, hey, transfer $250,000 of assets under management over to my bank because I'm buying a fourplex, and you seize up and you wonder what just happened, why did I lose $250,000 of assets because they bought a fourplex from some realtor I've never heard of. And oh, by the way, that realtor introduced them to their spouse, who's a financial planner, who calls a little more often, and all of a sudden they lost a big account because they weren't watching the back door. Now you got their attention. So let's prevent client loss. The thing, we like each other, so we agree we're at that level. And then you tell me what do you want from me? You want to prevent client loss. That's great. What I want is referrals. I said reciprocity, but really it's referrals. I give you a referral, I want referrals from you. So we're in alignment there. Now we figure out what am I afraid of? You're not going to refer me. You're not big enough to send me that many deals, but you want all this, you want this and that and the other from me, and it's not worth fooling with, perhaps. What are you afraid of? Trust, organizational consistency, control, quality match, or I'm not big enough for you, I'm not so worth your time either. We're both great guys, just, I don't have any business, you don't have any business. It was fun, nice cup of coffee, it's good practice, but we're just not going to get anywhere with it. We'll figure out what's your number one, and then we figure out this. If we can get past this and overcome this objection, then we move to an agreement on what are we really going to do.
How am I going to take care of your clients? How quickly are we going to respond to them? How am I going to report to you? How many clients are you going to send me? What's our bargain? What's the accountability for doing that? Well, you get this set up, you make a lot of money. And you get A clients. Not B clients and not C clients. Let me tell you what an A client is. Are you ready? An A client is referred with value, not one of 3 business cards, not a page out of the phone book, not a sign calling internet. That's not referred with value. Referred with value, ready to do something now, not when their lease expires in 9 or 12 or 15 months, or whatever excuse they give you. Ready to do something now, and they'll play by your set of rules. Play by your set of rules. Your set of rules looks like you're going to get pre-qualified before we go look at houses. I'm not going to come to your listing. I'm not going to do a listing appointment with you starting at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not available on short notice on Sunday. I'm not going to do this at a deep discount. So, if you've got all 3 of those, they'll play by your set of rules, they're ready to do something now, they were referred with value, that's an A client. A B client is missing one of those 2, one of those 3. They really like me, referred with value, they're just not ready to do anything quite yet. Or they're so big shot that they just can't be bothered to get pre-approved before they go shopping for a house. And then you got to decide, am I going to put up with this or not? And in the absence of A clients, you end up with a lot of B clients. And a C client is missing 2 of those 3. They're too big shot to get pre-qualified. They will only deal with you after 8 o'clock at night, after the kids are gone. Who's had that call? Oh yeah, let me see. I get home at 6, my husband gets home at 6:30, then we like to have dinner, and we want to put the kids to bed, so can you come by about 8:30 tonight? No. Don't think so. That's not an A client. They may have been referred really well, but they're not willing to play by my set of rules. And the more A clients you get, the less B and C clients you have to put up with. And A clients come from these people. If an attorney or a CPA or a financial planner or a builder puts their arm around you and says, call Mike. I've been Mike for 20 years. He's going to take great care of you. Don't argue with him for anything. Do what he says. He's going to get it done. That's a referral. That's how I want to be referred. That's how I would expect you to refer someone. And I would imagine that's how you want to be referred. If you get referred that way, then you can say, then someone, your assistant can say, you know what, Mike's on holiday right now, but I'll have him call you, let me get the information, let's get the ball rolling, let's do all this kind of stuff. They'll wait for you. If you're not referred with value, if you're a commodity, they pick up the phone and call. How many other realtors are there in this marketplace? Okay, yeah, so I got 8,000 in San Antonio too. Yeah, and you're in the commodity business. So, does that help? Do you see, is there value in that for you? Folks, I promise you, and this is a little bit older bunch on average than where I was this morning. If you're younger, you can get by on your database, you can get by on the principles. Mom and dad want to buy a house, mom and dad, the kids got a little bit bigger, had another baby, all that sort of thing. That's great, that's fun, and that's good old-fashioned bread and butter real estate. And you can get by on that for a long time. But once you get in your 50s, that gets harder and harder to do. Because they might refer you their kids. I mean, that's a high honor if they refer you their kids. But I will tell you that you sound like, if you're talking to their kids, you sound like their parents. You sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Womp, 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 womp. And I know you knew more than the other realtor that they could go to. And I know you know more than some hot shot that's doing this the whole time. That doesn't think that's rude. That's the way they communicate and that sort of thing. You see it in restaurants. That's amazing. Go to a really nice restaurant. There's 4 people at the table. They're texting instead of enjoying the dinner. That's cool to do. But so if you want your business to last in your 50s and late 50s and early 60s and keep going up. Otherwise, it's going to just slowly kind of glide into the ground, nice and quiet, nice and easy, which is fine for a lot of people. If that's what you want. That's great. But I'm very competitive. I want to keep getting better at what I do. And so last year we did 40 million. This year we'll do about 50 million. But I'm doing it because of this kind of stuff. I'm not doing it because I've expanded my database to 5,000 people, or that I have tried to deal with people that are 20 years younger than me and convince them that I'm cool and hip, because I can't fool them for very long. Yes, sir.
So I heard a great opportunity for you, so to speak, which is to coach this group on how would I, if I'm a real estate agent, coach that guy over there to edify me, right? You're looking to be referred with high standards, or
okay, that's a great question. Yeah, I don't. Oh, so okay, so Rick, I gotta tell you, Rick, I am thrilled that we got this relationship, that we're going to work together, and I understand the role that I'm going to play for me, and I'm going to count on you to refer me. Can I ask, how would you refer me if someone did call you?
Okay, so I met Dayton. Here, I'll just do it real.
Yeah, let's go
right here. So I met Dayton Schrader at this amazing training event, The Opportunity, this last week. He strikes me as being a very high-end, high credibility real estate agent. Somebody that I don't know about you. I walk into any networking event and there's 10% of the people in the room are real estate agents, right?
Right.
So what sets this fellow apart from that is he's so good at his business, he's teaching other people how to run their business.
Yeah.
That's how I position it.
Would you like an opportunity in San Antonio? You're considered San Antonio. That's exactly how I want to be referred. And I was kind of a shorter version of that. This is my go-to guy. He will take great care of you. I promise it's going to be done. I'm talking a little faster, but since it's Sam, but that's a great referral. That's referred with value.
Right.
As opposed to, I'm not comfortable referring to anybody, so here's 6 business cards.
Right, so what I was actually pointing to is the opportunity to coach this room, to coach their centers of influence.
So I would say, so in that instance, I would say, so let's talk about how I will be introduced to your clients when someone does call. Here's what I'd like for you to say. I'd like to say, Dayton is my go-to guy. He's been in business for 30 years. He's the #1 guy in San Antonio and has been for forever. I trust him implicitly. Do whatever he says.
Got it.
In your own words. That's how I want to be referred.
Okay.
Not, I gave your name to somebody.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Yeah. Really? Wow. Well, here, I gave your gift card to somebody else too. Thanks a bunch. Really appreciate that. That's wonderful. Well, I promise you will. I've been doing this for a long time. I stumbled a little bit on it, but really and truly, you practice that. Why should we do business? What do you want? What do I want? Why shouldn't we do business together? What are you afraid of? What am I afraid of? You get good at that conversation, you will generate a great deal of business. And I'm talking about 20, 30, 40 transactions a year of professionals that respect you and trust you and treat you like a professional. I'm sorry, you first and then, excuse me.
So,
I'm sorry, hang on, Russ, behind the
Oh,
shoes.
sure.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
So, as a percentage of your business, how much would you say comes from cultivating a professional relationship with their clients versus referrals from the past clients?
More than 50% is business and professional referrals. I get realtor referrals for my designations and the company that I'm with and tenure in the business and that sort of thing. I get referrals from the core. I get a lot of builder referrals, and I work real hard. I'm the Association of Certified Financial Planners in San Antonio. Biggest bunch of stiffs you've ever seen in your life. Bunch of 50 and 60-year-old guys just like me, but they all have 100 clients or 200 clients, and we match up. And so they can refer me their little old ladies, and they can refer me their clients, and I'm real good with them. And so I'm the treasurer of that association. I'm the only realtor in the room, and I got And they come, we go to lunch once a month, there's 50 of them in the room. Now I'm also involved in the Association of Estate Planners. And if they get a bigger room, pretty interesting bunch. And again, I'm the only realtor in the room. There's 8,000 realtors in San Antonio. There's less than 10 of us that are members of the Builders Association. And we build, this year we'll build 8,000 houses in San Antonio. We've got no natural boundaries, good economic situation, so we have a lot of growth in San Antonio. And there's only 8 or 10 realtors that are members of the Builders Association. We get a lot of business out of that. So hang on, Russ. Yes, ma'am.
So when you say, this is my go-to person, I'm for 30 years, what do you recommend saying for newer realtors that are good?
I would say that she's aggressive. She will focus on you. You got to know how to sell yourself, and you got to know how to sell against yourself. So if you're fairly new in the business, you're going to say, you know, I take really good care of my clients. I'm not trying to be the biggest producer in town. I focus on my clients. So what am I going to say if I come in behind you? If we're in a competitive situation, you're going to tell me all the great things about yourself. Well, what am I going to say about you?
Brand new business?
Yeah. I got a team. I got 30 years. So what are you going to say about me?
He's been around a long time.
Yeah. Old school, hadn't learned anything, hadn't changed.
He's really very good, but I like to.
Well, I think you're very gracious, and I just took your money. You know what? What's your average deal here? $10,000, $20,000? I mean, this is nice neighborhood, beautiful little town. I mean, it's not Cupertino, it's from Prior or Palo Alto from a price standpoint, but I mean, it's very expensive here, is it not?
Yes.
And what's your average deal? 400,000 or 500,000?
You get a better buy.
700,000? So you make $15,000 to $20,000 a deal? And what do you make for second place? Nothing. So you got to get that listing. So if I'm selling behind, if I'm coming in against you, small boutique, I got a big brand, I got the team, I've got all this firepower, you know, I'm going to experience all that sort of thing. If you're coming in behind me, you're going to say, "Oh, Mr. Big Shot, you'll never talk to him again. You know, you're just another notch in the gun." You know, that sort of thing.
Well, then it would be your relationships.
Right, you got to sell the relationship. Yeah, that may not be what they want. They may be on their way out of town. They got a new job. They got to go. You're lovely, but that's not what they're looking for.
But business is created from relationships.
True. Ultimately it's all emotional. Every decision is emotional at the end of the day. Yes, sir.
What kind of team do you have?
I got a really good team. Not a good team. I got a great team. I got a great team. So I have 3 buyer's agents that work for me. They live on the sign calls, the internet hits, and all that sort of thing. I have 3 relationship managers, and what we call an RP1 in our business. Typically, they're unlicensed. That's your transaction coordinator, marketing person. At the core, in our coaching organization, we call those RP1s. Mine happen to have licenses, and I like that because they can talk somebody in off the ledge. They're credible. They're not going to get pushed around by the other agent. They know what we do. They have an affinity for real estate already, so I'm not trying to sell them on real estate and then teach them all about real estate and then have them go get a job with the insurance agent down the street for the same amount of money and have weekends off and 401k. So I learned most of my lessons the hard way, that if you want to get a really good transaction coordinator staff person, you want someone in their late 20s up into their early 50s. They've got life experience, they've got perspective, they're not going to get caught up in all the drama. Hopefully they have real estate experience. They understand Top Producer or Coldwell Banker or your MLS system or what's your contract software? Y'all use Zip Forms or something like that? Anybody? Yes. What do you call it here? Zip Form. Okay, we say that. Okay. And your contracts are 38 pages? All your addendums? Really? Are they bad? Ours are 8. We got a lot of addendums, but not like you guys. Not really all the environmental stuff that you guys have here. But again, if you hire somebody that was an agent and either didn't have the spousal support it took to be successful, or just doesn't have the sales gene that it takes to be successful, but they do love real estate, they like the game, they understand what it is we do for a living, that's a great person to hire. If you can find that person for mid-30s, low 40s, something like that, that'll change your life. you will do really well with that person if they're the right fit. If not, it'll be a total train wreck. But if you get the right person, and I've got 3 of those people, and so our deal now is you get the originator, myself as the realtor, one of my guys, and then you get one point of contact. You've got that relationship manager, and their job is to take you from the minute you hold your hand up and identify yourself as a buyer or a seller all the way through the closing process. So we don't have somebody that takes it to a certain point and then gets introduced to somebody else. I learned that we used to do it that way, and I thought that was a mistake. So our continuity of care is much better. Our customer service scores are better. Because if you've got a listing for 4 or 5 or 6 months, and then you've got to establish that relationship and rapport with the client, and then you say, okay, well, I sold your house for you. Now somebody else is going to close it in the last 30 days. That's kind of just a bad handoff, I think. So I let them take it all the way through. And then depending on the source of the lead and who the originator is, this is how it gets assigned. So we try to balance out the work. But one of the ladies that works for me is specifically builders. So it's all my move-ups, all my guaranteed buyouts, anything that's builder-related, she gets it because she's got a relationship with the on-site sales reps. She knows the paperwork I'm looking for. She understands the drill. But they're all licensed, and so that helps me out. They just got experience, credibility, and things like that. So that's kind of what my team looks like. And then I got a couple other specialists that one guy that just makes his money on property, and somebody else does some builders. Yes, sir.
So this, why not? Is that all in one meeting, 2 meetings?
That can be one really fast meeting. If you get a knower, somebody that makes decisions like that, there's knowers, thinkers, and feelers. If you get a knower, they've already made up their mind. And part of this is they make their decision with their first modality, but they confirm it with their second modality. So for me, I'm a knower feeler. I've already made up my mind about you. I do want to hear your story, just in case, but I've already made up my mind, right? Now there are other people that are thinkers, and they're thinkers, and they think, and they think, and they think, and they think, and they process, and they want more information, and then they want to the spreadsheet, and they want to think about it. Those are your engineers. You guys deal with them all the time, right? So how do you knock a thinker off to get them to do something?
They get the white.
The white gives them that one of the doubles. I don't care. You get your spreadsheet. I want that house. I want that backyard. That sort of thing. But what you asked is, and I said, who said something else?
I said refer them.
Refer them out. Yeah. You say, hang on, I got this really good agent for you. They'll love to hang out with you for the next 6 months or a year or whatever. You know, you say, what's your gut tell you? What's your gut tell you? Well, I don't know, I got to look back at no, what's your gut tell you? If you ask a guy about 2 or 3 times, eventually they'll say, it says, we ought to buy this house, or, we need to list, or that's the right price, or whatever. So try that sometime, get brave, take a deep breath, and when they start doing that to you, say, what's your gut tell you? And then be quiet, and let them answer. And that'll get them there. And you may have to go back there 2 or 3 times, but if you do that, they'll finally say, yeah, that's what I need. That's what we want. So you get them back to that emotion. But usually one of the other spouses would like to sit with Jim in the ribs and say, yeah, put your slide rule down. I don't care if it's a 14-seat air conditioner or not. That's the one I want. Right? Okay. So we hit that real hard. That was a lot of stuff, and that wasn't what I had in mind to start the day with. But based on what we got, I thought that might be more useful than check a mail to your database, make sure you got 250 names, all that kind of stuff. So this is taking it to the next level. So I will assume that you've got a 250 to 500 person database. I will assume that you mail to them every month, that you have a client event party, and that you call them periodically. So we'll just jump from that to on to this, right? Okay, right now. So I didn't skip a step. All right. How are we doing on time? We get the hook? We doing all right?
Still Monday.
I'm fine. Whatever time. It's only 9:30 back home. I'm good. So, let's talk about teams real quick. To get to the whatever level you are at this moment, to get to the next level, you've got to hire somebody, and you got to hire somebody great. I believe, and we coach at this price point, 2 deals per month per person. So if you're consistently closing 2 transactions a month, especially if you're making 10, 12, 15 grand deal, you need to hire somebody. That'll get you to the next level. That will change your life. It'll give you balance, it'll get you home in a decent hour. You'll take better care of your clients, you won't burn out. If you're making that kind of money per transaction, you want to plow some of that back into your business and reap a great reward for that. So 2 deals per month per person, you hire what we call an RP1. Again, I would submit to you that if they're licensed and experienced with real estate, that's the person that you want. Just because they're nice and bubbly, that's not what you're looking for. You're nice and bubbly. You need someone who's a grinder, who's detail-oriented, who's personable, but detail-oriented, because we're typically not. And if we're really good at details, then we tend to be on the computer all day, fine-tuning the market analysis down to the 5th decimal place, when that's not where we need to be. We need to be out in front of principals and referral partners. So if you get that person that's detail-oriented, that understands your MLS, that can do a market analysis, that will ask them if the spelling of their name is correct, that will make sure that the ex-spouse is not on the listing agreement when they show up at a listing appointment. Does that happen to anybody? Oh, that's a lot. That's always a lot of fun. Oh, that's even worse. That'll tear your heart out. No, I remember I told you he passed away 6 months ago. I'm so sorry. I'm just grinding my teeth. That's on our checklist. It's on our checklist. So you want to make sure that, again, going through a listing appointment when their name's spelled wrong on every page. How much fun is that? Walking into a 1-story listing with a 2-story market analysis. I don't know if that matters down here as much as it does in San Antonio. That's a big difference. Finding out that they bootlegged the room edition or put it in the pool and you didn't know about it before you walked in. That's all the stuff we go through in our pre-listing stuff. So if you get a really good person to do that for you, it's going to help you out a lot. They send out a great pre-listing package. They make sure your letters are going out. They make sure your database is tight. They make sure that you're having a happy hour every once in a while. They make sure that you're having a client event. You delegate that stuff so it gets done. And let go of it, and it'll get done for you, and your business will blow up in the right way. I promise you that. I could not do the business I do without great staff. And I'm going to be out of town all this week. I took my daughter to school Saturday morning and flew out of here. I drove back to San Antonio, about 3 hours to College Station. Drove back Sunday, packed my suitcase, got on a plane, got into Oakland last night at whatever time I got in, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on the road all this week. It's an unusual week, but I'm on the road all this week. I don't have to worry about my emails. I don't have to worry about my voicemails. It's getting done for me. But I've got great people. They understand what we're doing. They bought into the system. We've got great team chemistry, and it makes a huge difference. So it's the difference between having a practice and having a business. And I'm working real hard on building my business. So, do you want to talk about taking the team to the next level with the team or anything like that? Yes, ma'am.
No, I just have a question. What is RP1?
RP1 is what we call a Realtor Partner 1.
Oh, I thought it was a real person.
The real person. I am going to change them to Relationship Manager. I think that is warmer and fuzzier, and I think they'll rise to that better. And so, that's what I want them to do. I want them to generate referrals for me. I want them to have a great relationship with that client. I want the client to give them a gift at the end of the transaction because Patty was so great. And it's happened now. I'm starting to have that happen. We go to closing, either Patty will go or I'll go, and I'll be given a gift to give to her. And then that makes me feel wonderful. So Patty or Julie or Tara, if we really love on them and take great care of them and manage their fear and get it done, manage their expectations and all that sort of thing, and then they get a thank you and a gift or whatever that is, we make a big deal about that. So, yes, sir.
Do you have a general kind of idea, or maybe you can throw out some ideas on how to compensate a person like that? I know there's no one way to do it, but just to get an idea.
W-2 employee.
Okay.
And somewhere, and you have to adjust for the market. So in San Antonio, high 20s up into the low 40s, depending on how good they are, how much better they make your life. That may be 20 or 30% higher here. I don't know what the market would bear. But this is not a kid. I don't want a $10 or $12 an hour person because they can work at McDonald's. They're just not there. Emotionally mature, they're not what you want. And if I'm your $300, $800,000 seller, that's not who I want to deal with. So my profile for that job is late 20s up into their early 50s, and experienced, not a drama queen, emotionally mature, got some perspective, that sort of thing.
You typically compensate them a percentage of the deal, or you're paying a base plus?
No, they get a very nice base salary, and then they'll get bonuses depending on team production and things like that. I do bonus on current client referrals. So, and that's somebody that's in the pipeline, whether they're a buyer or seller, all the way through the escrow process. If they refer us somebody else, if that client refers us someone else, and that deal closes, then I take part of that money and put it in a pool, and I'll give it to the team as a bonus. So instead of me paying a referral fee, which I would do, not gladly necessarily, but I would certainly do, I just earmark that money for the team. And I take really good care of them. I mean, we have nice lunches. We have birthday parties. I'm working real hard on making it fun. Whatever they need, nice chairs, nice computers. Everything. I don't want to hear that it took them 30 minutes to boot up their computer. I can't stand that kind of stuff. And so.
You found that if you give them a nice salary based on the area they work in, they're very happy.
Yes, and I read a book. It's called Drive. And it's all about that. And if their basic needs are met, they're not worried about paying the rent, groceries in the fridge, and that sort of thing, then what they're looking for is the environment that they work in, the learning curve, how do they contribute. I mean, they're wired a little bit different from us. I mean, most of us anyway. I mean, I'm all about the money. Ego, whatever you want to call it. That's how I'm wired. That's not how most everybody else is wired. They love getting a salary, they love getting a paycheck at the end of the month, and they know it's going to be there, direct deposit. I don't pay hourly, I don't want a clock on the wall. Their kid's sick, stay home with your kid. If you've got a recital to go to the recital, come back, let's go to work. And they take turns on Saturday, one of them's on call every Saturday for, an appraiser needs something, or we get an offer on a house or something like that. That's something I did this year. First time I've done that, and that helps a little bit. So everybody that's working has someone to call. Hey, go to so-and-so's desk, get this out of the file cabinet, whatever. Very organized on the way everything is color-coded on everything. So everything's right where it's supposed to be. I'm very militant about that. They're expected to get a sign call, an internet hit off of my inventory, and bring in a deal on their own. And that's okay, that's not great. Great is that third or fourth transaction each month when they're bringing in a deal off from a referral partner, or somebody wants to buy one of my listings and they've got a house to sell, or they get something else out of their database or something like that. But they can make really good money working for me if they're selling 3 or 4 houses a month, and they make well over $100,000 working for me doing that. And so, and I've got guys that do that. So that's my setup for my buyer's agents. For most people, that's a great practice. That is, $500,000 a year gross fee, netting $250,000, great balance in life. Take care of your church, take care of your family, take care of your kids, grandkids, philanthropy, whatever you do. But if you're gonna get them to go to work every day, you might as well go make some money and have some fun doing it. It's not a hard job. It really is a fun job 90% of the time. So.
Can you go over the RP1's duties again, please?
Certainly. Everything I don't want to do. Calendar, database, pre-listing packages, update calls to the client, the market analysis. I'll look at it before I go out the door just to make sure. But I can tell them and they know by now because they're licensed agents, they've been agents before, so they understand what the parameters are for a house and which ones to throw out. I've spent some time teaching them why I want it framed this way, what I want that market analysis to look like, what I want that folder to look like. I promise you, I can sit down and listen to them, and I can close my eyes, open up my folder, and I know exactly what's in it in what order every single time, section by section. We are that detail oriented. We have a checklist for the phone calls, the pre-listing scripts, all that sort of thing. The pre-listing package that goes out, it's all done. And so, but I basically, my job is to meet with principal buyers and sellers. I do show houses to buyers that are referred to me. clients and things like that. And I go on listing appointments. And if I'm not doing either of those two things, I'm working with a builder or somebody else that I think can refer me more people just like that. That's where I spend my day. And a little bit on management and running the office. But that's my best day is a couple listing appointments and lunch with a referral partner. Yes, ma'am.
Dayton, can you comment on what systems you use to manage your database and your workflow?
Top producer.
For everything?
Yeah.
Workflow? Do you have workflow systems?
No, not really. We've got good checklists in our folder. And I'll tell you real quick. You guys were all invited by different lenders that are in this community. Part of our deal is we'll share everything we got. So if you want something from me, ask the person that invited you. If you feel like this has been valuable to you, take care of these guys that were kind enough to invite you. Send them your business, introduce them to your colleagues, and then let me know what you need. And if you'll ask them, they'll get a hold of me or somebody at our concierge, and we'll share everything we got. So, I'm gonna do my quick commercial real quick. We have a CD program. That's all I want to sell right now. I want to talk about a CD program. It's $150 a month. We send out 2 CDs a month with content very similar to what I just did for you. And it's either from a lender or a realtor, but it's our coaches that are really good at what they do. And we talk about lead generation, managing the team, hiring, all these different topics. But they're 2 fresh CDs every month that come in. You also get access, excuse me, to open line calls, again, with content very similar to this. And they're available to you. You get in, ask questions about what we do, how to hire, when to hire, what our hiring checklist is, what that looks like, how to run the ads, that sort of thing, job descriptions. We'll share all that with you. And concierge has all that. So open line calls, 2 CDs a month, and then access to the concierge program. If you're interested in something beyond that, I'll be more than happy to have another conversation with you. I'm not going to wear everybody out on the summit and coaching or any of that sort of thing. But it's something I'm real proud to be associated with. I thoroughly enjoy doing it. It's helped me be a much better agent and really changed my life. So I'm really proud to be associated with the company. And I love what I do. I mean, I've had a blast. You don't grow up thinking you can be a real estate agent when you're a kid, but as it happens, I can't imagine doing anything else. I've just had a blast for 30 plus years doing it. So turn it back over. We got a drawing, we got a giveaway.
Yeah. How about a nice round of applause? All right, so we do have a quick little giveaway. Let's see who got lucky today. Jim, it's yours. All right, I'll bring it out in a second. Gift card and bottle. All right, so our intention here is to give our learning team out just some valuable information. And I know team building and getting referrals and structure is obviously stuff that's going to help huge. And certainly we work with a lot of realtors and we find that people are missing some of the stuff inside of their business, especially with hiring staff. That's really one of the toughest steps. So, a lot of these questions about job roles, when to hire, how to place an ad, all that stuff, we do have access to all that to you, thanks to Dave, of course. And so, I highly encourage some of the stuff at the core. I mean, they've got great CDs, great options in terms of this stuff, but certainly you can use us lenders as a resource to get some of the paperwork for yourself. And we'll do the best we can to explain it to you, but we're not realtors, so. Creme de la creme of business. So anyway, so thank you guys for coming. We'll be open for another hour or so. You can get drinks and more food if you want. And we appreciate everybody coming. Thank you very much.